All right, good evening and welcome to the Film Agenda 256 tonight. My name is Patrick Sentongo. Now, tonight we are diving into a conversation that's been long coming, the UCC's copyright call to all the broadcasters in relation to the audio-visual content. Now, earlier this week, the Uganda Communications Commission, UCC, which is the communications regulator in the land, made a sound to all broadcasters and media, digital media provisioners that they need to obtain proper copyright licenses for all audio-visual content that they intend to broadcast, and failure to do that will call for legal action towards them. Now, this has been a call for very many filmmakers in the country because for the longest time, their call has been that UCC needs to put a stop to all pirated content because it has been sabotaging their kind of growth in regards to the work they do. Now, tonight, I'm going to be joined by a gentleman who has been top on list of those that have led petitions to UCC, who also led a very big boycott towards the UCC Film Awards, citing that they were not right for them as an institution to continue organizing film awards that do not prioritize the benefits of the Ugandan local filmmakers, and that is none other than Muzei Julius Bwanika. Now, Muzei Bwanika is the General Secretary of Palwood, which is an umbrella body for Ugandan filmmakers. Thank you for joining me, Muzei Bwanika, and say hello to our viewers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sentongo Patrick. Yeah, I am humbled to be part of the show, and hello to our beloved viewers. Yes, we are here to probably to share some few notes. I would also want to learn from our viewers today.
Yeah, this is the third show, if I have it on right count, that we are going to be discussing UCC as an institution. And I believe tonight, some of the feedback that will be coming from this discussion would be a good one to compare and contrast with the previous broadcasts that we've had. But getting straight into it, UCC put out a call. Mr. Producer, if you could just share that on our screen for the people to read, the people that are watching us. It is asking the broadcasters and the media, digital media provisioners to seek the rightful, copyright licenses to broadcast this content. And this has been your call, yourself at personal level, but for very many other filmmakers. At this point, I want to first pose a question. Are you happy? Are you a happy man from Tuesday since this call was put out? I will caution you to first answer it as a yes or a no. Not in between.
But I'm naturally a happy man. So I don't know if the context of your question is about the call in particular, but yes. I'm naturally a happy man. I try so much to avoid being unhappy.
Yes.
Even under very oppressive circumstances. With this government, if you choose to pay attention to the details, trust me, you'll die of every disease that you've ever known. Pressure, cancer, diabetes, everything will attack you at once.
So to have it on right count, you're a happy man.
I am a happy man.
All right, so Mzee Bwanika, you fought for this moment for quite some time. Actually, years, and from petitions to boycotts, you've been very readily apparent. How significant is this UCC directive to the filmmakers, and do you believe it will finally bring an end to the illegal broadcast of content?
Maybe to bring it to the right context.
Yes.
This is not what we are advocating for. I would choose the word advocate than fighting.
Yes.
This is not what we are advocating for. It's not even closer to what we are advocating for. But it is something good, I should say.
It's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction. We have seen so many public notices that have been made by UCC and the respective government agencies since we're back in 2013. But I would like to say this was quite different. One, it doesn't have those reckless ultimatums, because ekibi kiba kibi. You know, an illegality is an illegality, no matter how you may try to sugarcoat it. So I think Honorable Nyombi this time round made it very clear to remind the broadcasters of their legal obligation of working by the book. You see, a law is a piece of paper, and it is you, the people, it is us, the people, that have to give it life.
Yes.
So this is what he just said is just a reminder to the broadcasters about their legal obligation. And I can tell you, I've not been observant today. It has been a very busy day, and but you may find even today, after the public notice of 9,
which was
a
Tuesday.
day ago,
Yesterday.
Yeah, you may find that there are some broadcasters today on the 10th that have been airing unlicensed content.
It gets back to what you said, that you've seen very many of this official communication from government. UCC particularly, you've talked of about 10 years since 2013, and other government agencies where they communicate and offer directives, and they are never followed. Do you want to say that history might repeat itself with this communication that was made by Honorable Nyong, because it was signed off by him?
History repeating itself, you know, we can never write our tomorrow by, you know, we also have to be a people that hope for a greater good. Yes, I for one, I saw this moment come. I knew at one point in time we are going to have this moment where we are having this public notice that is reminding the broadcasters about their legal obligations. So I knew we were going to have this moment, and I think it is also a disservice to our sector to expect that it is only government that is going to make things happen.
Yes,
it is very sad, very unfortunate that very many filmmakers do not realize that we are at this stage at this time. Very many filmmakers do not even understand the magnitude of this kind of information. That's why it's not surprising that today you may not even see somebody telling you that, you know what, this TV station was actually airing this kind of pirated content. So at the end of the day, it comes back to us, we, the beneficiaries of the law.
Yeah, that is
we,
very
the
true.
beneficiaries of because you see, the law oppresses the criminals.
Yes.
But it works in favor of those
who are doing right.
So this public notice, this UCC public notice, the stakeholders, the beneficiaries must stand up and actually proclaim what it has to serve. If the filmmakers choose to sit in their comfort zones, the oppressed ones will find ways of going behind everybody.
I get you right. And on Film Agenda,
I need to remind you something. I think it was 2023 when engineer Irene Kagwase Wankambo, the then director, acting director, issued a public statement telling all broadcasters that effective of a particular date, or actually she gave them an ultimatum of 14 days.
Yes.
They shouldn't show pirated content. Because the filmmakers didn't know the magnitude of the ED's directive, they went in romance with the broadcasters, trying to negotiate their individual shares, individual interests. The broadcasters, we hear it is alleged, the broadcasters mobilized themselves, they immobilized some chidogo and gave to some big person in government who had to silent the then acting director.
Yes.
So the same thing is likely to happen if the film producers are still in bed snoring. That is the biggest
So Mzee Bwanika, in your submission, you've hinted on a possible disconnect between the filmmakers who are supposed to be beneficiaries in regards to this directive. And along the way, because a directive of the sort has ever come, like you've said, from then director, and things went south again. So for you, on this particular show, it would be nice for us to break it down. I would want you as a leader in Palwood and one of the leaders in the film industry to briefly break down this directive by the executive director into what I would call a soluble kind of format for our people, local filmmakers out there, to understand and pick a few key issues in there. What does it mean? What does this directive mean to them?
First and foremost, I would want to congratulate my fellow filmmakers that stood by the principle and tried to advocate for sanity in the broadcasting industry. Away from that, we need to understand where did we come from. We had so many of our colleagues that were trying to defend UCC, trying to, paint a lot of Vaseline about whatever UCC was doing, because for them, they were beneficiaries of the Uganda Film Festival then.
Yes.
I think it is high time to first and foremost remind ourselves that the entity that you are protecting, you, my fellow filmmakers, has woken up. The question is, what do you learn?
It is seemingly getting against them.
Exactly. What do you learn from that? We did not, and I want to re-echo, we did not boycott UFF because we didn't like UFF.
Or you didn't know the benefits it would bring.
Exactly. We knew, and we know all the benefits of UFF. But the mere fact that the implementing agency of the Uganda Film Festival is the one who is also responsible for ensuring that the film market in Uganda is streamlined. So until they do their legal obligation, they actually have no moral authority to pose as promoters of our sector.
So they were playing a double standards game.
A double standards game. So in that respect, I would want us to go a little back to understand the point from which we are trying to address the illegal film broadcasts.
Yes.
Illegal film broadcasts do kill the entire creative sector.
Yes.
Because this is simply smuggled goods. The directives of Honorable Nyombi this time round has reminded broadcasters that whosoever does not comply by the minimal standards, especially in line with the copyright. That's why you see, this public notice also hints about the collecting society, that is Uganda Federation of Movie Industry, because it is clear of what it is addressing. It is addressing something to do with intellectual property, the copyright of people. If we want to
involves collecting
exactly
of remuneration.
No, not even collecting of remuneration. If I give a broadcaster the right to broadcast my film, irrespective of whether they've paid me or not, I've given them the right to do so.
Yes.
So UCC, the executive director, has not come out to stop the broadcast of any content in this country. No. He only cautions you that before broadcasting any content,
have the proper
copyright authorization to do so. So ideally, I would wish to thank the UCC as an institution this time round and the executive director for reminding the broadcasters, because it creates an environment that they have remembered their obligations as well.
Yes.
UCC as an institution.
But it's from that point that Muzeiwanika, I want to pose this question. Why now? This call has gone on for the longest of the time.
Yes. Why now? I wouldn't want us to look at why now.
Because
let us look at
most of the things,
what it is.
Even away from the film industry, UCC being a government agency, most people look at most of the developments that come around these particular times to big government trying to run more of winning the public kind of sympathy, or playing that card around times like this. So is that something you would also look at?
Yes.
That UCC is doing this now for a government win?
If it is for the intention of streamlining the sector, one, of restoring sanity in Uganda as a country, two, then let it be. This is something that we wanted yesterday. If it has come now, today, let us take advantage of the situation. And whatever they want to have, the issue is something needs to be done right in our country. Let me tell you, Patrick, we have had a number of young people that are doing harm to their own society because of the content they are watching. It is very embarrassing when you find your children I don't know if you have children that have started watching.
Yes,
you
I
have
do.
them.
Yes.
Perfect. It is very absurd you finding your kids watching an immoral content on TV, a national television. Very absurd. Remember, it is a medium of communication. Mainstream media plays a very significant role in the mindset of our society. So it is just wrong with all the strongest terms possible to have illegal content on air.
All right.
UCC did not mention about the media council, the classification. That's very okay. The law is the law. You get the authorization from the rightful owners, observe the principles, the minimum broadcasting standards, and then have your content aired out. So the issue of why now, I think, okay, if it is now, let it be now. Let us have a Uganda. The result is that first step in a journey of 1,000 miles. I think this is this first step.
No matter the timing.
No matter the timing.
All right.
This is this first step, yes.
Inside that directive, the executive director, hence, of course, there is his body as an institution, which is UCC, but UFMI is strongly upheld and readily apparent in there. I want to pick from you, what are their respective roles? What is the role of UCC in ensuring that this directive is ensured and followed to the dot? And what is UFMI as the collecting society? What is their role?
By law, a collecting society is there as the watchdog for copyright.
Yes.
To ensure that people do not infringe on other people's works. And Uganda is signatory to a number of international treaties. No, leave alone the reciprocal agreements.
But even international treaties that bind.
Exactly, that bind us. That, according to, like, for example, the TRIPS agreement, RIPO, you're supposed to protect the works of every creative as though
it is your own.
It is your own.
Just like they have to do elsewhere.
Exactly. So, but Uganda as a sovereign state has the responsibility to protect the intellectual property of every creative in Uganda, irrespective of having an agreement with them or not. So, Uganda is signatory to this, and therefore, UFMI coming into play, it is a good thing for UCC to finally recognize that, in Uganda we have a collecting society that is responsible for this. And, it was just a way of trying to educate the masses, because we've had issues with UFMI. I don't know what's wrong with us sometimes. You'll find UFMI still wanting to sell content on behalf of the corporate holders. They still don't understand what realities are. So you see that mix of information causes a lot of confusion. UFMI is not going to sell Spellsberg's work to a TV station. No, that's not going to happen.
Yes.
A TV station cannot get a license for Spellsberg's film from UFMI. So this notice was to clear also the air, because when you could read at it, you could feel the spirit of wanting to clear the air. Because even back a few months ago, we were smelling a rat. Some officials wanted to start giving content to the broadcasters, which was wrong. Even me, a Ugandan, actually. UFMI doesn't have to blockage me as a content creator to a broadcaster. No, it's not its business. The law prohibits the collecting society to operate a business because it's a mix of interest. A collecting society can't distribute, it can't produce, because you're managing these rights. And
yes,
you have to be transparent. You have to cater for the interests of the members. Now, how will you cater
there
for
should be no conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. So basically, one, the press release, I think the public notice wanted to clear some air that, you know what, when you're looking for licenses, look for the rightful owners.
Yes.
UFMI's legal obligation is to collect royalties. What UFMI does, it reminds you as the users of the works of who the rightful owners are. That's why you're paying the royalties. How can I give an illustration of royalties? Royalties, Mzee Wanika will get his film, sell to Next Media.
NBS.
When I sell my film to Next Media or NTV or Bukede, my Bukede will pay me an upfront payment for the authorization of right. I may willfully give them this content to air for free. But if there is any economic remuneration,
any kind of financial
exchange, they have to pay me. But it doesn't take away the fact that UFMI will go to Bukede, NBS or NTV to collect royalties.
Yes.
No, royalties are like obusuru.
Buri general whether
kasitoba nga tewasasula chapa. Nga you don't have a land title. You have to pay obusuru. So that is royalties. Ne obusuru tebukujisako bwananyini.
That is true. Actually, that is a very vivid example that paints a rightful picture.
Exactly. That these users, the broadcasters, have to be reminded that the land you're seated on, you don't have a land title.
So by just that fact, or sasulayo. UFMI.
Exactly. So kati obusuru bwe buyita mu UFMI.
Zinezisigade is between you, who is creating the content,
exactly,
and the broadcaster.
Like the same way a person will wake up and say, I'm buying a plot of land. They are paying a lump sum. But for the usuru, it is just a small... Actually, I think there is even a law that limits.
Yes. Yes. Actually, in economic language, that is called an implicit cost. Touch feeding.
Yes.
Touch feeding is something chota.
Now, UFMI will reach out to Bukede, NBS, and TV and tell them, you know what? For the year that you're using copyrighted content,
yes,
we want 1 million. Now, imagine in a year, if this TV station is to play 1 film per day, these are 362 movies. If you're to divide the 1 million gotten from Bukede or any other TV station amongst the 362 million, how much is a film getting? So it is just an implicit
penalty.
It's a small cost.
Yes.
So it's also important for the filmmakers and the stakeholders, the public, to understand that these two roles are totally different. UFMI will only hope to make the ecosystem, the environment conducive for we the filmmakers to actually sit and share our content with the users of our works.
All right, thank you. That has been well explained. Now, with this public notice in play, Mzee Wanika, I see that it places the broadcaster in a dilemma. And that's why I want to ask for all these years, how have broadcasters managed to air out this kind of pirated content without...
No, broadcasters, we told you that it is alleged. Broadcasters mobilize themselves
under their NAB association.
I don't know if it is NAB. It might not be NAB, but
it might be that individual.
They have a racket. So they collect money from amongst themselves and give a few officers in UCC to have a blind eye on what they do. Broadcasters
so
exactly. UCC goes to sleep when the broadcasters are airing films. What Ugandan broadcasters have been doing with UBC, the national television,
national broadcaster,
and this other sister station of it,
Star TV.
They steal content. A national broadcaster steals the films from people and then airs it. So what UCC does, it looks away when the broadcasters are airing this stolen content. That's how broadcasters have been doing this. DSTV has sold its shares to Canal Plus.
Yeah.
I am telling you, if the environment does not get proper, even Canal Plus is going to collapse.
It's a coincidence when the public notice for UCC was being published. The transfer of MultiChoice was also being published.
Exactly, was being published. What is failing DSTV? DSTV is failing because of failing to regulate the marketplace where it operates. But I think DSTV also deserves to collapse because they adamantly exploit creatives, and in so doing, they don't care about the environment in which they operate. You know, it's like a thief shouting when they see another thief stealing something.
Omuganda kyayita okalyadda
kadda teri mubbi ng'anyaga agenda kukubira mubbi munne enduulu waba okubira enduulu naye bakulaba. Yes, you create attention and people will eventually identify that you're also a thief.
So multi choice nayo gave a blind eye.
Exactly.
At the time they were trying to maneuver and exploit.
Thank you very much. So my humble advice to Canal Plus, as you wish to come and invest in the Ugandan broadcasting sector, you are going to fail when you are having smugglers in the same playfield.
Well, Muzai Bwanika, you've talked of a racket,
yes,
a small clique of broadcaster executives in the broadcasting industry that have always been reaching out to their fellows at the UCC. And UCC kept giving a blind eye. Today we see to it that UCC has come out and put out this public notice. This illegal broadcast has been going on for a couple of years.
Yes.
Should we look at this with the executive director who came out and put out this public notice? Should we look at this as a turning point that at least now we are going to see a stop being put to these broadcasts? Or it is so early for us to judge?
No, I am hopeful. And for me, it is not early to judge. If Honorable Nyombi has woken up from his sleep and is finally reminding the broadcasters of their legal obligations, that's good enough. For starters,
yes,
that's good enough. But my humble appeal is to every stakeholder. Actually, when DSTV first came, we were in Koloro. These were my words. Until we have a fair ground, DSTV, all this investment is going to be in vain. At the end of the day, they are selling the company to Canal Plus. I'm repeating the same thing. If Canal Plus comes and they think they are going to take advantage of the Ugandan content creators, they are going to fail. A playground must be fair to everyone.
They should learn from the people they are taking over from.
I think Honorable Nyombi needs to appreciate that the playground has big investors, people like NTV. Do you know NTV pays for some content that it airs?
The soaps that we see.
NTV pays. Are you aware Next Media, NBS, pays for some content that it airs?
It airs.
Now, are you aware that Next Media has a streaming platform, Afromobile?
Yes.
Now, if you could look at the investment of Afromobile, and then Afromobile, because it is suable, it won't indulge in smuggling of content.
However much Afromobile is under the Next Media brand,
yes,
yoteja yisa pirated.
Exactly.
Na yate ku television aite.
But no! You see, this is what happens in the field. Afromobile will fear to pirate on content because it is suable.
Yes.
The moment it does the wrong thing, anybody can sue. They can sue and then recover money. They make money out of it. Do you know why M10 doesn't use when you're using M10 Wi-Fi? You don't visit. You can't go to Facebook without VPN. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
In Uganda,
even Airtel.
No, Airtel you can. All other networks you can because they are not suable. When you sue them, you're not getting any money from them. But the moment M10 doesn't leave that window, people are going to sue M10. Now, these big investors like Afromobile are going to collapse. Why? Because there are parties like Monowatch, there are parties like YoTV that are pirating content at industrial scale.
Yes.
So, Afromobile is spending much more in the area of content acquisition. YoTV is stealing in a broad daylight, and channels, they are all being licensed by the same agency, UCC. So, when Honorable Nyombi doesn't address this substandard enforcement, selective enforcement, it is still going to fail.
So, in simple terms, Chorio Gamba, the notice alone is not enough. There are dynamics below it that need to be concretized.
Exactly.
The big question is, does UCC I'll use in quotes, the balls as street language. Bayina manyo aga enforcing ekintu kino to the dot. And how?
Yes, they do.
As stakeholders and people like you helping them or holding them accountable.
If UCC doesn't have the balls, I can guarantee you, it wouldn't even have issued this public notice. If it didn't have the balls.
The notice alone shows
UCC has the balls. There are a few officers within UCC that profit when the status quo is.
They take advantage.
They take advantage of the
loopholes.
You see, the Uganda Film Festival has become a profitable garden to a few individuals within UCC. So for them, it is a matter of ticking the box. This year, we have ticked. Did we do the festival? Yes, we did. They tick the box. So it is profitable to a few individuals within UCC at the expense of the entire sector. So the same thing happens to the broadcasting business and this issue of content distribution. A few individuals are profiting from it, but UCC as an organization, it has the balls to actually address this and bring an end to all this. I've been to Zambia. Do you know in Zambia you can't air illegal content? Yes, it is banned
by the equivalent of UCC.
Yes, in Zambia.
We have a vivid live example. Well, today we are making a lot of sense. And the discussion is rotating around the public notice that was assigned by the executive director of UCC and was put out as a public notice in national publications. And in there, two institutions were very critical. That is UCC itself and UFMI. And it is at this particular time that I want us to give much more depth to UFMI as the collecting society, the CMO that handles film. Mzee Wanika, I want you to highlight and speak much more about the core mandate of UFMI.
Thank you very much. The core mandate of UFMI is to, one, collect royalties. Actually, the collection of royalties is a reminder to users of copyright that this product that you're using has an owner and to enforce copyright. For UFMI to enforce copyright, doesn't matter if you are a member or not a member. Actually, in Uganda, our current law, Copyright Act, provides for only one collecting society per a bundle of rights.
Yes.
So it's only UFMI, as of today, as we speak, only UFMI is in charge of the whole film sector.
The way you PRS. So UFMI is to film what UPRS is to music.
To music, as Euro is to the publishers of books.
Literally works.
Exactly. So that is the role of UFMI, to make sure that the film market in Uganda is free from piracy, to protect copyrighted works at the Ugandan market.
Yes. In the recent past, I attended the Eastern African Filmmakers Summit a few weeks ago. And UFMI as an institution proves to be moving in a rather steady progress. And with developments like this, a person like me gets to think, or to even question that, is UFMI ready for the task ahead of it? I've seen that recently they signed reciprocal agreements with their counterparts. I think it was Zambia and
Zanzibar. Yes.
Yeah, Zanzibar. And with a lot going on in regards to development, like the signing of those reciprocal agreements, is UFMI well placed to also move into the work in regards to ensuring notices like this that was put out by UCC? Are they well equipped to play their role?
Yes, they have the law. Irrespective of all the other factors, they have the law.
Which can back
them. The only thing that UFMI needs is the law. Because when the office of UFMI, when the inspector of copyright comes to your business, what they are asking something in line with the law. So when you ask about being equipped, yes, they are. We can work around the administrative modalities, things of that sort. But when it comes to the enforcement, police is police. UFMI is the police for the film sector. So A policeman, when they find, when you're on the road, Patrick, when you're driving on the road and the traffic officer stops you, you don't ask questions.
Yes.
He asks the question.
Because he's in the right, he's
yes,
his job.
Exactly. As long as he is wearing the uniform.
Yes.
Not every police officer will put on a traffic police uniform.
Well, Muzaiwanika, you've talked of UFMI being backed by the law.
Yes.
But you stated, I quote you right, that you can address the other internal challenges later.
Yes.
Is it the reason I engage a lot with filmmakers on the side? And many of them still doubt the effectiveness of UFMI. So I want you to speak to that.
I think,
and probably what needs to be done for them to have the goals.
My appeal to filmmakers, it's like you have a function at your home, but you have very ugly girls. Your daughters are not beautiful. So your daughters are not beautiful enough. So you call the neighbors' daughters to sit at the forefront. So that so that the event could be colorful. And probably the young men that have come could admire to marry from your house.
They plan on coming back.
They have plan on coming back to marry from your house.
Yes.
But you've put the neighbors' children. The fact remains, UFMI is the Audiovisual Collecting Society. In 2016, I led filmmakers. We took UFMI to court.
Yes.
We won the case, and until anything happens, until URSB wakes up and says we've revoked the license of UFMI. UFMI is the licensed Audiovisual Collecting Society. So whatever we do, actually, it is not mandatory for every filmmaker to be part of UFMI. No.
But it is upon UFMI, whether a person is their member, for them to fight
piracy. Exactly. So for you, UFMI does not enforce copyright selectively for its members. No. Actually, even
if you're not a member, you can go to them and accuse them of neglecting.
Yes. Even when you're not a member and they're not doing their job, you have a right to claim. Because the law gives them the monopoly to operate. Actually, the law provides, our Copyright Act provides, it is illegal for any person or entity to operate as a collecting society.
Yes.
So it means UFMI will collect for both its members and non-members. And what happens? The money is collected for the non-members. They will put it aside. And that is the money. When you read the law, that's why they put what they call a benevolent fund. Monies where owners are not known. And what does that money do? It helps to run the activities of the collecting society after its time elapses. So we need to appreciate that our children not being beautiful enough are our children.
And we front them.
So filmmakers need to understand. I for one, I do not like probably the way UFMI does its things.
Muzaiwanika, your model of doing things, all activities within the sector, some people look at it as radical. You just said that some years back you took UFMI to court.
Yes.
I want to also note that you've been top on your model still, your model of doing things. You've been one of the people top on lists. You've written very many petitions. You've led the boycotts. Why is it so? Why is that your model of work? And still to that, I want you to take me through your journey of these battles and petitions and boycotts with UCC over the years. You talked of having had run-ins with UCC 2013. I don't know if that was the very first time. These are 10 plus years. I want you to take me through this space of 10 plus years of you being in run-ins with institutions like UCC, UFMI, and why is it so?
We have this proverb in Africa. Ku kyalo ky'abasiru omugezi abonaabona nnyo.
Kati gwogwawa kwawe. Kuba obonyebonye n'abasajja gwa busiru. Era ekyalo ekyo omugezi waako yaliwo omusiru yaliwa.
You see, when we went to court, they said we were.
Meanwhile, which year is that?
Is going to court being radical.
Well,
it's not.
In an African society, diplomacy, which is more of a round table agreement, all coming to terms in a round table manner, is a preferred,
sitting
than going legal.
That very sitting you're talking about is a court.
In the traditional way.
In the traditional way. Why not we make tradition? No, you see, a court is, a court is a place where you're going to sort whatever.
Yes.
You failed to sort at individual level. If you're not a problem to me, then we don't even need to sit. But the moment we sit, even though it's just the two of us, it becomes a court. We are trying to iron out a matter. So for starters, I would want to assure you, we have always had a good cause. And I would want to applaud fellow filmmakers that have stood with the right cause from the very beginning. There are people that are remarkable, like Chinene Yusufu, now the current vice chairperson of UFMI.
Yes.
He has always been there. There is this gentleman, Bikomi Samuel. I think these are names that need to be celebrated. Bikomi Samuel has always been at the helm. You see, people see Mzee Ibwanika, but usually they are filmmakers that may not even speak out, but they have always been at the forefront of advocating for sanity in our sector. Talk about Nabwana IGG of Wakaliwood. These are filmmakers that have always stood. They don't speak out, but probably they do things that are even more, add much more than what I do.
Yes.
So there are so many filmmakers that have walked this journey to date. Talk about Magezi Ronald. When we came up with the boycott campaign, boycotting Uganda Film Festival until UCC stops the illegal film broadcast, one of the people that stood by the cause to the very end was Magezi Ronald. Fiona Atuhairi. So when
you're not alone.
I am not alone. You see, the problem is we are on a village where people don't see. Probably they are blind, for lack of a better word.
Well,
and at the end of the day, after so many years, they realize we had actually seen earlier than
I will still stick to your boycott that you led in regards to boycotting UFF. The task you put yourself to was, let us boycott UFF until UCC, the broadcaster, stops the illegal broadcast. Why was your cause limited to only until they stop the illegal broadcast of? Because UFF is a single project that happens once a year, and when you look at just it, your project cause for the time bound. Why did you restrict it to until there is that stop to illegal broadcast?
When you want to solve a problem, always look for that one solution that will help to solve all the other problems that may come by. You see, the creative sector is quite bigger. But the business models for music and film are quite different. I'll give an example. A song can be played on TV 20 times a day. How many times can a TV play one film in a year? A film will be played once.
Dynamics are totally different.
And again, for a music video, the more it is played, the more the demand.
Yes.
Now, for a movie, the moment people watch a movie, then it's an old movie. They want a new one.
True.
So, you see, these business models are quite totally apart. Now, when it comes to film, I want you to pay attention keenly here. Film is a vast discipline. Film employs nearly every aspect of the creative sector.
Yes.
What other stakeholders don't realize, the moment you kill film, you are killing all the other disciplines.
Yes.
Because you're nurturing a society. One, film is a strong medium of information. By the time you get people to sit, concentrate for 60 minutes, trust me, that's a classroom.
Yes.
It's a classroom. where people do not even realize that they are learning something new. So film is a strong medium of information. It's a strong mobilization tool. By the way, film is a mobilization tool more than music, if you could pay keen attention. The architects of what has to be maintained wrong in our society noticed that actually suffocating film will blindfold all the other players to actually get to think they are not being tackled.
Yes.
But in the actual sense,
they are using one stone
to shoot everyone down. The moment you streamline the film sector...
Give an example of that, just to make sense to our viewer. Maybe how film, in that regard that you're communicating about, moves into, let me say, music, because the two are big aspects of the creative sector.
Have you seen Bollywood movies, films from India?
Yes.
They are musical.
That is true.
And actually, the filmmakers in India are musicians. So that's what film is. A filmmaker can do a music video.
Actually, no one. Barusha video tubalaba.
Yes. So they will feature in music videos, which means music can also accommodate.
Intertwined in a way.
It's intertwined in a way. But as much, look at the budget of a music video and the budget of a single movie.
That's true.
Look at the duration of production. Look at what you need to invest in.
Costs of production.
Are you aware that one film, if we have a good ecosystem in Uganda, one film, its investment alone, the production cost, can build a Mapera building in Uganda here.
That is true.
With only the Ugandan market. Now, that is the power of film.
Well,
when film sells, you are selling culture. You are selling every aspect of the creative sector. You are selling the crafts, fashion, design, music. You are selling
even the creative people who are into graphics and all that. Well, Muzai Wanika, did your campaign of boycotting the UFF address the grievances of filmmakers? Or, now this notice coming out, is it one of those that you anticipated while kickstarting this campaign? All there are other grievances that were along the way tackled by the boycott?
The boycott is focusing on one problem that will hope to solve all other problems. So we are not acting out of emotions. It is not personal. It is something based on principle.
Yes.
We believe the moment you put things right when it comes to streamlining the broadcast business, so much more will get right. So what we are doing right now, actually, to us, this is not a win. This is the beginning of a long journey. My appeal to the executive director of UCC is to walk his talk. Let us restore sanity. Let us have a young Ugandan that celebrates whatever they watch on TV. Let us protect the parents of this country first. By protecting the parents, these are people that pay for TV stations.
That is right.
For these packages, for their children to enjoy. And in so doing, we are protecting the children, the young children of Uganda. Have you gone to the speech days of our schools today? Have you tried to look at the kind of performances our children are putting up? Trust me, it is something that will entertain you. But deep down, as a parent, as a reasonable parent, as a sane Ugandan, something is wrong, and it is deliberately wrong because of the content that our children are watching. What went wrong by doing the right thing? Have you read this book for Dr. Spear?
What lived when we died?
What lived when we died?
No,
what died when we lived? Yes.
He has another that the title is the one I first mentioned.
Okay, really?
He has two books. Yeah,
I want to buy those. I've fallen in love with the title. I just want to have one. I saw him signing the autographs, and I don't know. Since you also share the same name,
he's my uncle.
He's your uncle.
Yes.
I need a book. I need
it
a book.
It is everywhere in the.
No, I need one signed by an autograph.
I will make that happen.
Please, at whatever cost. I am willing to pay for
that.
Yes,
you talk of UCC, the boss, Honorable Nyombi Temba, and his entire institution walking the talk. In regards to the public notice that he put out, if compliance is to be ensured, what will be the financial effect to that? Because money will be involved and filmmakers will be benefiting.
Yeah, the beautiful thing with when Honorable Nyambi does what he has to do, one, UCC is not going to incur in any costs.
Yes.
Because TV stations are just a handful. And all the TV stations, UCC has the switch, all the digital platforms. You don't, yes, so there is no financial implication that UCC is going to spend this amount of money. There's billions of money. And I can guarantee you, the moment UCC does that, you will see the impact of the Uganda Film Festival.
Yes.
It will become a regional festival. I can guarantee that. If UCC right at the word go, now, 9, and say, you know what? You want to air any content, get the rightful, get authorization from the content creators. UCC is not going to spend money to enforce that because it has the switch. That medical guy you see in UCC,
the media money,
everything is on his table. If these people are willing, Bukede is not going to show any infringed content again.
Does Mr. Kagwa belong to the other clique you talk about?
I don't want to mention that clique, but I don't want to mention the clique, but let us have the spirit of, one, they're losing nothing, and two, actually they can even make more money. How? One, the moment Uganda Film Festival blossoms, still they are winning as an institution.
It's a win to them.
They are winning as individuals that are handling this. But also, the GDP of this country, film will have an opportunity to contribute to the national growth of Uganda. Filmmakers will start paying taxes.
Yes.
So, when you look at the benefits, young people are going to get employment because film is going to become a profitable business. Are you aware that government is bringing a fund? They've told creatives to create circles.
Yes.
And they create, when you create a circle, you go borrow money, you do whatever. But whatever you're applying money for has to be in line with your circle or in line with your domain.
Part of the money in this budget is for that.
Exactly. If you're a musician, you can only borrow money to do music. You can't borrow money to go and buy a car, build a house. No, they can't give you. That money is not for that.
Yes.
If you're into film, you can only borrow money to go and do film. But right now as we speak, film is not bankable. Creative arts is not bankable. There is no bank in Uganda where Ragadi will go and say, you know what, give me a loan, I am going to do a video of Ragadi, of Undigida, and they will give him a loan. No bank in Uganda can do that. No money lender will give you that. No bank in Uganda will give money to Muzei Iwanika to go and make a film. Why? Because audiovisual content is not bankable. The moment we streamline mainstream media, I can guarantee you, everything is going to gain shape. Even the money that government is putting there, it will find purpose. But I can authoritatively say it is political money meant to shadow those, the short-sighted ones, as we enter the political system, the political era, to think, government is taking care of us. No, that is not free money. Nobody can get that money.
Well, Muzei Iwanika right there for you. He says that government still wins by ensuring that these changes that play in favor of the filmmakers, are ensured. Now, currently, the contribution of the entire creative sector to the national GDP stands at 3%. His submission clearly states that if much of this is ensured, filmmakers could actually add a fraction that might see the contribution of the creative sector shift from 3% to probably another 1% to make it 4%, all 2% to make it 5%. That now goes to the regulators, which is UCC, and the entire government. But
yes, URA needs to come in. Minister of Finance needs to come in.
All these
this is a gold mine. Yes. Minister of Trade, private sector foundation, government needs to wake up. If we streamline,
there is a cash cow they are neglecting.
Yes. If we streamline film business, I hear Minister of Finance, the President sent a proposal to, was it to Parliament Cabinet to approve a loan of 9.9 trillion, something like that. We are borrowing because we are not taking good use of the resources that we have.
Yes.
And we are walking in the wrong direction. To the countrymen, we can stop the borrowing. Okay, we may still borrow, but not to that magnitude.
Not to that tune.
If only we take good use of the resources in our hands.
All right. Thank you so much, Muzei Wanika. So, back to UFMI, because with everything in play and us looking at UCC walking the talk and broadcasters also playing their part, there will be an aspect of money, and this is where UFMI again comes in.
Yes.
What is to be done to ensure, what is the procedure or the criteria for collecting this money? And usually, when money is collected in this creative sector,
collecting which money? Let me tell you something. If we streamline film business, the collections by UFMI may not even be up to 2%.
Busamambilo.
You get my point?
Yes.
If film business is streamlined and UFMI is to collect royalties, those royalties may not even add up to 2% of what of the worth of the entire sector.
Yes.
So let us not look at UFMI. UFMI collects obusuru. Obutinyenyo. What we are talking about is the gold mine, the reserve that we want to tap in this time round. And this, it is a direct cut, a clear cut. You see, Mzee Wanika is doing film. Right now, if you look at the cost, the average cost of production for a Ugandan film, it's within 7 to 15 million. For an average Ugandan film, which is good enough. Not a sokerwako, an average.
Yes.
Let's say 13 million.
Yes.
So, instead of doing 13 million budget films, I can tell you we will be doing 130 million budget films as average. So it implies if you're having 300 filmmakers in Uganda doing 2 films each a year, how much money are we looking at? Now, let us talk about the fallback position.
Yes.
How much the revenue earned. We are now distributing content. At the advent of Stream East, we are distributing content in Rwanda, Kenya, Zambia, Tanzania, across the entire region. All this foreign exchange is coming into Uganda. We are talking about a market worth of over $1 trillion Uganda shillings.
And lots of billions have been lost
exactly
in the previous time.
So it's not, when we are talking about the collection, you see, you can't hide money. The moment money flows, everybody, Minister of Finance will see that is money flowing.
And the minister will openly come and say,
exactly.
Colleagues,
you pay tax.
So you hinted on distribution in there. And as a leader in Palwood and probably other guild leaderships, what are you doing in regards to distribution? Because it is this distribution which will contribute to the entire ecosystem to ensure the monies that we are talking about.
Yes.
What has been done in regards to distribution? I want you to speak in regards to Palwood, where you are a leader.
As in Palwood, through support from UNESCO, courtesy of UNESCO, and through the Ministry of Gender, we have put up a distribution platform. You know, after COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of things had to change.
Yeah.
Traditional distribution of films using DVD collapsed. Today, the technology is changing at a very faster rate.
That's very true.
Today, even computers themselves, when they are coming in today, they have no CD-ROMs.
Yes.
So everything is now being
online. You just need internet
exactly.
and watch.
So given the changes in technology, at Palwood, we have put in place a distribution platform, an industrial a streaming platform that is Stream East. So if you're onto your computer, you're onto the internet, you could just Google www.streameastfilms.com and you'll be in position to access all Palwood content of Palwood members. But as well in Uganda, I would also want to acknowledge there are some individuals that have put up domestic applications. However much they're domestic, but we still have to credit that it's an effort and it needs that credit. So we also applaud them. They should go on to ensure that at least, because the moment we are sensitizing the public about digital consumption of our content, whoever does that is doing something for our sector and they need to be applauded. So at Palwood level, we have an industrial application, Stream East, and we will be going public very soon to start doing door-to-door activations. But
Yes.
as of now, our films are available on Stream East. Of recent, we have released Rolex Time.
Rolex Time.
If you want to watch Rolex Time, a Hollywood action-packed movie,
We talked about
it is
it
on Stream East
last week.
Thank you very much for that. I also watched the show. Thank you for supporting the Ugandan content.
Yes.
And as well, Stream East has some of my content.
Yes.
When you're on there, you can actually have a look at the high school movie Zero Alternative.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a movie produced by Muzei Bwanika.
All right.
I have to
Thank
be
you
proud
so
about
much,
that.
Muzei Bwanika. The platform, he says, is accessible via any search engine. You just log on to www.streameastfilms.com and understand the films on there, a person rents them at a certain fee. If you could just make sense of that.
Yes, the films onto the platform are at a very small fee. It is $0.4.
$0.4.
That is cent.
Yeah.
4 cents.
Yeah, 4 cents. For
Yeah,
us who did
around-
mathematics, that's around 1,000 shillings.
1,500 shillings.
Yeah.
So just that, and then you can enjoy the finest Ugandan movies.
All right.
Yes.
www.streameastfilms.com. Now, Mzee Bwanika, is always, culture for us here. The main topical discussions usually rotate around institutions or individuals and the key people that run our sector. And tonight on Film Agenda 256, we were discussing the key results of the UCC's directive to broadcasters. Now, in your parting shots, as we get to the tail end of the show, I want you to give your final, remarks to our viewers. But in there, I want you to address, broadcasters, your fellow filmmakers, and to government.
First and foremost, we need to appreciate,
Yes.
before I take that route,
Yes.
that this is a threat to broadcasters. Broadcasters have
That's
for
not
a
separate.
long time
Enjoyed.
enjoyed without paying taxes, without any expenses.
By being in bed with the other clique.
Yes, the other clique. So it is a threat to them, but I would want to assure them that if things streamline, there is enough bread for everyone.
Yeah.
So, even today we are talking about content, product placement in when producing content. If the film industry is doing well, you will have enough content to show on your TVs.
Yes.
The behind the scene, everything. So I think let us create an environment for everyone to blossom. That is my humble appeal to the broadcasters.
Yes.
To the filmmakers, it is high time we wake up. When we told you we are boycotting the Uganda Film Festival until UCC stops the illegal film broadcasts, this is what we foresaw. This is what we are looking forward to. Let us join hands. For those that were paying attention, that were in romance with UCC in the days, I think we now have a collective cause to pursue. Let us all support this. Let us walk the talk. When UCC tells the broadcasters, you know what, you have to conform by the minimum broadcasting standards, let us report these cases. Let us be watchdogs. Because, yes, even when they are sleeping, let us have proof that you're sleeping. The KBS is showing this kind of content. The moment we bring them to book, I can guarantee you, we shall eventually have a Uganda that we all celebrate. This is not just for filmmakers, it is for the Ugandans, the public as in itself. And before my appeal to government, I call upon the Ugandan community, but first and foremost, I would want to thank Ugandans that support Ugandan content. When we released Rolex Time, it was released on last Saturday.
Yeah, last Saturday.
The weekend, when you look at the sales that were done on weekend, they were way too high. Actually, we've noticed that there are some schemers. I don't know what happens to some of our people that had already uploaded it on YouTube, but again, they are only killing their YouTube channels because you
They
don't
are going to be
no, it is already done. Yes. Their channels have already been striked. You see, because they are trying to take advantage of what they've not worked for. So to the Ugandan community, thank you so much for supporting us. Those that watch that content on YouTube, still, we appreciate them because they didn't know they are watching stolen content.
Exactly. For them, they are simply consumers.
They are simply consumers. They are looking out for Ugandan content and they are watching it. So Thank you to every Ugandan that watches our content. Let me tell you this. When you watch Ugandan content, you're not only building Uganda, but you're also protecting your society. You're also creating a haven, a safe haven for you, for your children and generations to come after you. And I can guarantee you it is for everyone that we support each other. So when we have a safer and cleaner community, everyone blossoms.
Yeah.
To the government of Uganda, I think it is high time they put aside their indifferences. I've not had URSB come out to add a voice to what UCC has done. I know the Registrar General is somebody that doesn't make noise, but she works underground. For that I know, but I still would appeal to URSB to come out and address and add a voice to the UCC public notice. Minister of Gender, I don't know what to say to these colleagues of ours. I think at one point, our dear ministry only wakes up when the budget comes to the creative sector.
Yes.
But I think it is also, it would be polite.
It's just right.
Yes, it's just right of you to come up and say, okay, enough is enough. Let us restore sanity. Let us actually, Ministry of Gender has the Department for Youth, Ministry for Youth and what?
Youth and Children Affairs.
Youth and Children Affairs.
By Minister Balam, who has over the years been part of this sector.
Oh, Honorable Balam, I wouldn't want to say it's a disappointment since it hasn't been tried.
Yeah.
But I would request Honorable Balam, let the Ministry of Gender wake up this time round. Since UCC has put out this publication that no broadcaster should air content they don't have right to, let us pursue this. Let us make sure it is enforced. Let us put the politics aside. Let us streamline this business. So when we have these institutions on board and then Media Council, we don't know what died when Media Council lived. Media Council, please wake up. Let us join hands and make sure that we clean the film market. When we clean the film market, everything is going to get right. To our dear ED for UNCC, once again, we would want to appreciate you for hosting us here. Yeah. Thank you for hosting us. We are so grateful for UNCC. Probably these voices would hardly be heard if we didn't have
this particular
the accommodation at UNCC. So in a special way, I would want to thank UNCC. Yes, I would want to ask you much more, but still you're doing something. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mzee Iwanika, for always honoring, our communication and coming through to represent and speak matters film. Tonight we've been discussing the case for UCC to put a stop to illegal broadcaster of pirated content. And this was particularly to the broadcasters. And my key takeaways, a couple of them, but I'll stick to two. One, UCC has to walk the talk because it is starting with them. I mean, they issued this particular notice. But then there needs to be collective, kind of input by all the relevant, agencies and authorities. Here we look at institutions like UCC itself, UNCC, the Ministry of Gender, URSB, UFMI.
Something very small, Patrick.
Yes.
On a special note, allow me to appreciate UCC for the public notice.
Yeah, at least they have come out.
At least UCC has taken a step.
You can go ahead and go person and upload the executive director.
Yes.
Your friend.
Today, the 10th of September 2025, I would want to applaud Honorable Nyombi for standing your ground. I have no idea wherever you go to the balls to, but thank you for standing so bold and
putting a signature to that notice.
Thank you. Let us walk that talk. That is what we wanted. That is what we wanted UCC to do for the sector primarily, because that is your primary obligation when it comes to promoting us. Please do not hesitate. Do not deaccelerate. Do not deaccelerate. Going then in that direction, we are with you. Thank you on that note, and I hope nothing will stand in a way of a national cause like this.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
so much, Mzee Wanika, for joining us tonight. And of course, for the people that have been watching us online, many thanks for joining us. And of course, I want to also applaud our partners here that make this particular channel, and of course, the entire broadcast space that we are in, the Connect for Culture Africa. Now, Connect for Culture Africa is a project by Selam, and they advocate for increased public funding into the creative sector for all countries within the continent. Particularly, I would also want to applaud the Stream East platform that is here to change the narrative of the way we consume our content. So over this weekend, you simply log on to www.streameastfilms.com and get to watch a couple of movies, right there, a couple of them. Oftentimes on my weekends, I spend time catching films right there. So till next Wednesday.